misconceptions. We've got truth in our possession. No room for doubt, no time to waste. It's time to put flat earth in its place. Here comes the Smackdown.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're ready for the Smackdown. Tonight, we continue the review of the epic Smackdown that Professor Dave served on Witsit. It has been absolutely fantastic. I had no idea. I had not watched it before 2 days ago when I reviewed it live here. Only little clips. But man, Professor Dave did what Professor Dave does, and treated Flat Earth with the condescension, mockery, and ridicule that it has earned. Now, if that hurts your feelings, Flat Earthers, just apply Flat Earth geometry to tell me what time the sun will set tomorrow. If you can't do it, you deserve the mockery and ridicule you get. So I will be finishing that review. I have two more special features that I will be items, whatever, that I'll be sharing later, other than just the debate. So I hope you stick around for that. I hope you enjoy it. So I'm going to, without too much more, I'm gonna get right over into it here. But welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here. And this is where we left off last time. If you haven't watched it and you want to watch, if you're like, oh hey, I want to see the first part, the other videos on my channel. It's 4 hours. It's not mandatory, but it might be a good prerequisite. It's up to you. So, all right, here we go. I think the audio might be a little low. I'll fix it if it is.
And entertaining, and I want to let the viewers, of which there are many thousands, get in it for a few minutes. But do I dare bring up Cavendish? Do I dare bring up, because that is a point of contention, right? Of that matter attracts matter. Right, that disproves gravity. Right, like I'm a very large fat man, very attractive young, but not young. Why did I say young? That's creepy. Very attractive thin women are often attracted to me. But the let's actually not go down that. Let's not go down that road. It's probably too complicated. I want to let people.
Yeah, just because everything's electrostatic, it's way stronger than gravity's claimed to be.
Yeah,
but they shield for electrostatic.
If you have a lot of questions like that, it's like, you know, we can have a conversation in the future, man, whether it's streamed or not.
It's maybe down the rabbit hole too far.
I just want to like.
Wow, he just popped that out right there, right? I slowed it down. It was at 1 1/4, and now it's at 1. So, when you hear the word salad, make sure you type nom 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 in the comments.
This is the only thing that I really want to know, Dave, before we move on, bro. Like,
all right, go ahead.
You said you didn't think the numbers were correct, whatever. You dismissed it. Then you said maybe there's some type of atmospheric effect. Do you agree, though, that refraction is the bending of light, which means that a silhouette can't be refracted because it is the absence of light?
A silhouette is made by light. How can you be so wrong about that? Can he be actually serious about that? It's so wrong. How can you be so wrong? Is it intentional?
What?
Yeah.
Can a silhouette be refracted?
Yes.
If you're seeing something, there's light traveling to your eyes. So
sure, but
there's
the mountains,
refraction there.
The mountain should be below the curve of the Earth.
No,
right?
No,
but we're
wrong.
seeing the silhouette once it gets backlit, which means you need a line of sight to the physical object blocking the light.
No.
I don't know, man.
So we
you're doing, I saw
wrong.
a thing, therefore everything we know about physics and science in general is wrong. It's just not going to fly.
Dave concedes defeat. You heard it here first.
Okay,
He conceded the Earth is flat. Everybody knows now. Dave conceded.
It's so easy to go against flat earthers, just dismiss all the uncomfortable evidence and ask about
It's not uncomfortable evidence. You just make up bullshit.
Like just ask about random things that we were taught when we were 5. Like, well, then how does this work? And like, Whatever. I mean, if
I
you think
asked you
that's
very
how it
simple
works.
things like why does the night sky rotate in opposite directions in opposite hemispheres? You have yet to answer that. You have
Answered
yet
it
to
directly.
He did not. His answer was, let me remind you all, different people from different positions see the rotation differently, right? Remember, in the northern hemisphere, you see the rotation one direction. In the southern hemisphere, you see the rotation a different direction. It's different stars. You don't even see the same stars, north and south. So how... It doesn't make sense. He didn't answer it. All he said was somebody looking a different direction, somebody in a different area. That's it.
Okay, go ahead.
You
Repeat
said
that.
if you
Repeat
look
your
a different
I
way,
did.
it'll rotate a different way. That's just
No,
toddler-
I said first of all,
toddler
you have to verify cardinal direction, which when we go to the south,
It's not hard to verify cardinal directions. Witsit, you are not the only person that in the world that can figure this out. People have figured it out for centuries.
we actually use immense magnetic declination corrections, which could be skewing where you
I'm
think you're
saying
viewing.
looking
That's
at
just
the
a
celestial pole
just
with your
a
eyeball.
fact.
Looking
Let
at the
him finish.
celestial
Let him
pole with your
finish, Dave.
eyeball.
Let him finish.
just a fact.
Yeah, but
and
he's
then
just-
The celestial pole is due south. That's it. You don't need a compass. You just need to look at the celestial pole.
helping. It's just word salad. He's just saying words to deflect.
dude,
thing
stop
that
using
people
the
can-
term word salad. You don't know what it means.
Oh, poor Witsit doesn't like the word salad. Is word salad, Austin. You just say something and it has no meaning.
It means you're just saying words that aren't saying anything, which is what you're doing. That's what it means, and that's what you do. Right?
But you can never give specific examples of when I did it.
Just now, what you just did. I'm asking.
I said
looking at the
that
celestial
magnetic
sphere,
declination
what does that have to
in
do
the
with it?
south. What?
What does it have to do with what I'm asking you?
Nothing.
You have to determine your cardinal direction. And then the second part is
No,
because
you don't.
magnetic declination corrections are immense in the south.
You're confused
That
about
makes
what I'm
it very
asking you.
difficult
This
to
isn't this
verify
other
cardinal
cross and three
direction.
directions thing. I'm asking about rotating counterclockwise versus clockwise. You have yet to answer that.
He's
In
going
the-
all the
Okay,
way
you need to
back,
determine-
just so the viewers.
You don't need to figure out which direction is which to see the counter rotation of the pole. You see, this is part of the tapestry of deceit that he's constantly weaving. You don't need to know the direction to see that it's rotating the opposite way as in the north. You don't need it. Imagine for a second that the center of the south celestial pole wasn't due south. It's beside the point. It is due south, but it's beside the point. The point is there are two celestial poles, the opposite of what you would expect on a flat Earth. Flat Earth, it would absolutely only have a center, a single center pole. The other end of a dome coming down would have lateral moving stars, not in another circle. And he knows that this is completely an issue, and that's why Witsit has to change the topic to, oh, you can't see the direction.
No, hold on. You guys are both being really great, by the way. Like, you're being very respectful, and I appreciate that. Dave, I believe, is going back to his literal.
The first thing I said.
The very first thing you said. Yeah, the globe.
This is all recorded. I tried to answer it the first time he asked it. You interrupted
it's all
7
recorded.
times.
It's all recorded that you didn't answer it. This is the tapestry of deception again. That he thinks that just saying, whatever he said, it's the direction you face. You need to know the cardinal direction. It's perspective. None of those actually address it, and he knows.
I've
You
answered
said
it 3
if I
times.
look in a different direction, it'll magically spin the other way. That's not how things work.
no,
If you
I
put a clock
said
on the ceiling, it's gonna go clockwise no matter which way you face. Sorry,
I
buddy.
said that we see, this does require usually some visualizations to understand it. We see in a little dome. It's called an azimuthal grid. You can go to Stellarium.
No, we don't.
That's how we map the stars. We have a zenith position, an azimuth position, and we measure elevation angles. When you do that 360, it gives you a dome. That's how we view the sky. NASA themselves have articles talking about how we see the sky to be a dome. We have an equidistant limit of vision. It's like a little dome. If you
There is no limit to vision. It's another lie.
were to replicate that with a bunch of spinning stars and you looked out towards the edge of this dome, it's going to make them look like they're converging and spinning around the central point, even though they're literally not doing that.
How can he actually think that this is the case? How can he think this is the case? It boggles the mind that it goes back to the same thing. Is he just lying about making up something so that he can maybe deceive the people that will follow him? Or is he actually not smart enough to understand that he's completely wrong? Right? And you know, no, whether or not Witsit is stupid or lying, there are people that buy it. Every single person that believes that what Witsit just said has merit is stupid. There's no other way to say it. That's not how anything works.
We have replicated
How
it.
does it spin the
Therefore,
other way
we
in the
would
Whoa, you've not replicated it. We have replicated. It's the same thing. He's like, we have done this. We've done this. We've done, right? He likes to say this, but he never can actually cite them. He says that they can predict eclipses using Shane's model, his plagiarized model from Walter Bislin. No, they can't. He says that they can do celestial navigation. No, they can't. He says that they somehow replaced the radius of the Earth in angular change with linear distance. No, they haven't. All these things that they say that he says they've done, he never can show. Never brings them up. We know why.
We would expect to see it just like crepuscular and anti-crepuscular rays. When the sun's setting in the west, it'll look like it's in the east at the same time, and the
no, that should not happen either. It's hold on. I think I have somewhere in my notebook here. I filled up my notebook. It's 100% full. If I need to buy a new one. And I even have here. I'll show you this. Let's see. I've got notes. I've got things on my to-do list. It's garbage and recycling. Holes in pots on landing. Needed to drill some holes. Water the trees and spray weeds. So that's from last summer, actually. So, all right. Let's see. It's got good memories here, right? Good times. I don't know. There's from my debate on Clubhouse. So, all right. I don't know. If all right, I'm just gonna have to explain it with words. If crepuscular rays prove that the as Witsit wants to claim that it's local somehow, that the sun is local, then they say it's because, you know, here they splay out as they come toward you, right? And that's what you see. Well, that's not why. They're not actually diverging. It's because they're getting closer to you as they angle toward the ground. But if that's what's happening, then when you turn around, they have to continue to get wider. So when you look toward the sun, they should be close to the sun and splay out away from the sun toward you. And then you turn around and they should continue. They must continue to splay out if you look the other direction. But that's not what we see. Anti-crepuscular rays disprove that the Earth is, or that the sun is local. It proves that the rays are actually parallel, and that what you're seeing is things that are near are bigger, including the gap between the rays, and things that are far appear smaller, including the gap between the rays. That's what you're seeing. All right, well, let me read a couple here. We got Ace McLeod. This one's all right. So Ace is a little confused. I hope I can help. Let's see if this is up here. No, it's already off screen. So Ace says, "Hey, MC Toon, I'm still confused about bullet trajectories, hurricanes, the equator, momentum, and all that stuff. Can you explain how the clitoris works? I'm hoping that he mistyped Coriolis, but when a man loves a woman very, very much, that, you know what, this is the wrong venue for that discussion, Ace McLeod. If you want, I can, maybe one of your parents can explain it to you, but definitely do not involve bullets, hurricanes, equator, momentum in that particular topic. When you're dealing with that, I would definitely don't include, especially bullets. Don't, yep, unless you call your thing the bullet. I suppose you could have that nickname. Let's not do that though. The Sun Express says, imagine the breadth of hubris of Flurf Witless, utterly lying about WMAP, CMB, right? Saying anything at all about his dirt pizza. It is a huge amount of hubris. Absolutely. It's that the CMB, the cosmic microwave background radiation, says anything about his dirt pizza. Remember, it was measured by a satellite in orbit around the globe. So that satellite could not have been put into orbit without understanding gravity, without understanding the radius of the Earth, without understanding the particular elevation it's going to be at and the speed that it needs to be at, so that it can maintain the balance between centrifugal acceleration and centripetal acceleration. All of that relies on knowing the radius of the Earth, knowing how gravity works, all of those things, just to do the measurements. Then the measurements are they're pretty intensive, and Witsit has not looked at the data. Yet he, in ignorance, declares that he knows more about the data than the people that looked at the data. Yes, the hubris, the absolute arrogance and douchebaggery that's necessary to think that in his ignorance he knows more than the people that actually worked on it. Total douchebaggery. PhD Tony says, to identify north-south using sticks and string, draw a circle around the stick in the ground. Mark the points where the tip of the shadow meets the circle, AM and PM. The midpoint between those points is north-south of the stick. Oh, that's a great way to do it. If you can make a circle, if you can somehow have that circle be symmetrical, right, and have the stake be in the middle, that's not hard to do. You put on a stake and you have just put a loop of string around it, right, and then put a stick or something to draw a line around a circle, right? If it's on a sidewalk, you could use chalk. If it's on a piece of paper, you could use a marker or a pen or pencil or something like that to get a fine line. Yeah, and then mark points every one, when where it crosses that line. Great idea, where the shadow crosses the line. Yeah, that's easier. So then you don't have to be exactly at the time where it's the longest, because where the shadow is the longest, it's also at its lowest variance, right, of length. So it's moving laterally, but it's also not varying in length much. It's a sine pattern, sine wave. So it's at the peak of that wave, it's not changing a lot. So when it's near the edges, it's moving faster, so you can get a little better resolution in the line. That's a great idea, Tony. David Villar says, Witless totally ignores Occam's razor. Absolutely. He talks about it a lot. He loves to talk about Occam's razor, but he always, in the flat earth explanation, it requires a significantly more complicated explanation with lots of assumptions. So how does the South Celestial Pole exist? Lots and lots of words with lots and lots of assumptions, and none of it actually having any geometrical backing to it. Yeah, Occam's razor says that's most likely not the correct answer. So, all right.
Rays will converge to a point even though it's just based on perspective.
Okay.
That isn't objectively a viable answer for the star
It
trust.
is not a viable answer. You're just saying words like crepuscular and perspective to appease flat earthers who have no idea what you're talking about, because you cannot answer how things rotate counterclockwise in one hemisphere and clockwise in the other.
You know what
Which,
anti-crepuscular
again,
rays
is
are?
explained perfectly by this model. It turns.
You know what
this way,
anti-crepuscular rays
and
are?
that's- Well, what? Tell me what they are. Go ahead.
So you called it word salad, but it's just that you don't understand the terms.
It doesn't
Okay,
matter,
so-
but you're just taking it's a jumble of words. It's not that each word doesn't mean something. It's not just literal gibberish and syllables. You're taking words that are words and putting them together to make a salad, like your lettuce and your croutons and your things like that. That's why I tell you of yum yum word salad. You cannot explain what is can you concede that this makes perfect sense visually, intuitively, just spatially? Can you at least concede that this makes
I already
more
did.
sense than what you're saying?
No. I mean, I will say that if it is exactly south, yeah, of course, that's what the globe predicts.
He said yes, and then okay, he said that's exactly what the globe predicts.
But we
So you're
made the
admitting,
globe
so you're
model.
admitting that the globe Earth explanation for the way we see stars moving in the sky makes more sense than
No,
everything you just said using random buzzwords that you.
no, I didn't say that. But this.
He did say that it makes sense, and you can't deny that. The existence of two celestial poles is a geometric necessity for a rotating Earth, and that's what we see. And it's a geometric contradiction for two celestial poles to exist for on flat Earth. So yeah, he has to say that it makes sense. Wow. Let's. I have this here. We can. I'll turn off the sound here, but here's my. I'll give it to everybody here in the live chat. There. This is my little video, my short on crepuscular rays. So flat earthers, crepuscular rays prove that the sun is local. So there's the light splaying out. This is what they think happens. Right? You got the sun, you got the clouds, and it splays out as it comes toward you. And so that's the path that they actually claim the light takes. And so when you turn around the opposite direction, right, they must now diverge away from you. Of course, what do we see? Well, I tested it myself. This is my own video. I took it myself. When you face away from the crepuscular rays, they converge, the opposite of what perspective requires for flat Earth. Flat Earth perspective demands that they converge, or that they diverge, but they don't. So there you go. Sun rays are very nearly parallel, like train tracks. There you go. Poor Witsit. Always wrong.
This is the point I want to make here too. Look, Dave had to deny that the default position is that the Earth's a stationary plane.
It's not the.
Of course it's not the default position. I'm going to need a little bit of this here. Sorry. Okay. All right. Is it a little loud? I'll turn it down a little. I see somebody saying that. Okay.
That is a fact. That is literally a fact. So
that's just a thing you say.
Wait. Whenever we fly a plane, do we treat the Earth like it's flat?
It doesn't matter. We're just flying.
Oh.
We're not talking about the shape of the Earth.
Hold on.
We're just
hold
traveling.
On. If
it's a default
if that's
position.
true, hold on, Austin. If that's true, as the debunkers point.
Well, if the default position, if flying is that, well, then all the maps that they use would not be, I mean, I've got some right here. Got these maps right here. Then the maps that we use that are based on the sphere wouldn't work, would they? You'd have to use non-flat maps if the default position. But since all maps that they use for flights, all of them are based on the globe, and all of them include the radius of the globe in the manufacture of them, then the default position would be that these, using the globe, default position is the globe.
Point out, when you fly on the southern hemisphere, or why do planes take direct routes as opposed to following the flat Earth map? Because it takes the same time to fly from Australia I think that, what is the example you used, Dave?
Sydney to Santiago
Sydney
over
to
the Pacific
Santiago.
Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this one because we didn't get to it.
It's always obfuscation away from the point that the
Well, he
actual
asked the
physical
question.
flying of the plane requires a
we're
flat
not getting
stationary.
anywhere. So he asked the question. I was going with him.
I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny.
He said he's not asking. Yes, he is asking. Come on, moderator. You're trying to get into it a little bit there. It's okay.
Funny.
All right.
Okay,
All right,
but
well-
yeah, I know all the debunks. They're not debunks, or I wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now.
They
So,
are. You can't explain.
no,
that
okay, I'll
flight.
just
You
go ahead
can't
and explain it. So
Santiago
if you
to me.
if you say you fly from Sydney to Santiago, one direction actually takes significantly longer than the other return flight.
How much?
Then
It
if you
doesn't, though. It doesn't.
it
Half
it
an
it
hour.
objectively does.
Have headwinds back way. It's like 30 minutes. That's all.
No, there are flights that are up to 3-hour difference. So okay, that's a
Not when I
fact.
looked it up.
Now, everyone can verify everything I'm saying, and you can
Yeah.
go to 24-hour flight radar
Why would it
and look at the
matter?
data.
It's
You can go to
impossible.
24-hour flight radar, look at the data. What you'll see
So what he's talking about here is probably he's taking the extremes. He's taken whatever flight, typically because of prevailing winds, takes a little bit longer one way than the other. This is due to the rotation of the Earth. It is. And this is wind speed. Airplanes fly relative to wind, right? Oh, I might have a kitty coming. Hold on. Do I have a kitty? Oh, I do. She's a little confused. There we go. Hello, kitty. This is Raccoon. She's so sweet. All right. Good kitty. Oh, she's like, I want to go. Wait, you can't take. All right, give me a knuckle. Knuckles right here. All right, thank you. I need that. I need the ice. She's trying to steal my ice. All right. Good night, Stacy. There we go. What was I saying? The prevailing winds. Yes, that's due to the rotation of the Earth, and then airplanes fly relative to the speed of the air. So if the air is moving because of the rotation of the Earth one direction slightly faster in general than the other, then yes. And then you've got on top of that, you've got jet streams. And so he's probably looked at like the extreme fastest route going one direction, the extreme longest route going flight, without taking into account sometimes there's a storm, they divert around the storm, takes longer. Sometimes the jet streams are favorable, they get a little bit longer, but none of it at all. He won't address this. None of it matches the dirt pizza distance. Because if you take the dirt pizza distance, I'll do it right now, between Santiago, right, and Sydney, according to this map, the fastest route is a straight line. So I'll draw the line between them. And the planes never take this route. That's number one. They never take the route. I'll show you. Here you go. This is the route that it would have to take, right? And you look, right? It goes north. The flat Earth route must go north of New Zealand, cross into the United States, cross Mexico, over the Gulf of Mexico, cross somewhere around Panama, and then go across the northern part of South America. That's the flat Earth route, and it's at least twice as far as the Great Circle route on the globe. So it's this 11-hour flight, 12-hour flight would be 22 to 24 hours. But that's not the route that they take. People can verify it. The route they actually take, charted on the flat Earth map here, because partway through, often you can look out the south-facing window and see icebergs, ice flows. So this is the route that it would have to take. So this here route is twice as long. This route is at least 3 times as long. So that route, that flight now needs to not take 1 or 2 or 3 hours longer, depending on the direction. It has to take 3 times longer. So you're not looking at 11 hours, you're looking at 33 hours. That's not what we see. And they're like, oh, well, the jet streams. Well, you need to have the jet streams moving 1,000 miles an hour consistently, following that route, one direction. And then when you return on the return flight, because it's between Santiago and Sydney, both directions, QF27, QF28. One direction, you'd have to get the exact right jet stream going 1,000 miles an hour one way, and the other, you'd have to get the right jet stream going 1,000 miles the other way. These jet streams don't exist. There are jet streams that are fast. 1 to 200 miles an hour is pretty high speed for jet streams, but they don't match the route, right? You go in and out of them. You're lucky if you hit one, but you don't just sit in the jet stream consistently. You do what you can. Oh, do we have a derpling in here? There it is. Oh, that's precious. What a pizza poo says all empirical evidence proves a flat earth. It doesn't, but I appreciate you trying. Good job there. What a pizza poo. So, anyway, if you want what a pizza poo, if you want another round, let me know. Send me an email. I'll be glad to give you a pummeling again. Maybe next week. I'm busy Tuesday, but maybe Wednesday or Thursday. But that also reminds me, July 3rd, Wednesday, July 3rd. So that's 2 weeks from yesterday. Would anybody in the Minnesota area, would you be interested in meeting for dinner somewhere? Maybe Indian, because I do like some chicken makhani and some getting hungry. If you're interested, let me know. If you're somewhere in the vicinity. So, okay. Let's get back. Let's get back to my window's gone. Where's the window? Here we go. Okay.
As it says, the plane's going, say, 550 miles per hour, right? On the globe, obviously, you just have a similar distance both ways. But if the time is different, they're obviously not going the same speed. So what that proves, right, because speed equals distance over time. So what that proves is that the data we're being given about how fast that plane goes is wrong.
No, it's not. Why would you say that? The ground speed is part of the what you can see on Flight Radar 24.
In Google, plane goes 800 miles per hour, and there will be articles talking about planes catching jet streams.
You're going to need
wait,
2,000 miles an hour.
Okay, but planes can't. No, you don't.
Yeah. Probably 1,500. But yep.
Don't.
Sure
It's ridiculous. You guys.
That distance is like triple or quadruple the distance that makes sense for the amount of time it takes. So are you going to pretend that there's some that crazy wind or personal tornado that makes it fly quadruple the speed to get it over there?
Hurricane.
And also, why doesn't it go the route that makes sense on the flat Earth? Why doesn't it go that way?
Okay, first, if you assume the Earth's a globe with a projection, that doesn't prove the Earth's a globe, and it doesn't. So you're asking me, are the pilots in on it?
Totally diverted. If you assume the globe's a projection, then it's that's not what he's talking about there. Why are you deflecting? Because you are a failure. You can't touch it.
No, the pilots aren't in on it. I know tons of flat Earth pilots. They thought the Earth was a globe. Most of their
flat Earth pilots. That's a lie.
Well,
see, this is what I'm saying. You have to lie about stuff like that.
You're
dude.
the one
It's
lying.
so
There's no flat Earth pilots. Ask any pilot if the Earth is flat. They'll laugh in your face.
I know.
They all take
multiple.
great circle routes. They take.
I know multiple. Name them. Let's bring them on, Witsit. Oh, they won't talk on. They won't get fired. They don't do this. Do this, Witsit. Have them send you the flat Earth flight charts that they use. Every pilot uses flight charts to get around, right? What flight charts do they use? Just send those. And if it's a Lambert conformal conic projection from the globe, then they're not a flat Earth pilot. They're a globe pilot LARPing as a flat earther.
Take great circle routes that are.
Can a circle exist on a flat Earth?
My wife is a pilot.
No, a great
My wife-
circle.
Does anybody want to talk to me? My wife's a pilot.
Yeah.
What does she think? Bring her in.
She does.
Dude, I have an Air Force pilot that reached out to me
I
of
saw,
30
yeah.
years. That's a
Yeah.
flat.
Cool.
the-
That's true. Totally.
I don't want to.
See what I'm saying? You have to deny basic reality.
Why is it so crazy to think that you could be making that up on the spot?
But
Why
what
is
I'm
it-
saying, how-
Hold on a second. Either I let these guys go at it for 10 more minutes, or we answer viewer questions.
I feel like we've gone good time.
I feel like
Let's
we're
do-
there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there.
I
So
got
I want
stuff
to
to
pick
do.
a few of these. I'll stick around live for a few minutes after I let these guys go. I want to just like give a digital. I mean, I don't care what side you're on. Thank you both for being here. And
Oh my gosh,
for
enough.
being so passionate and
He's done this
being
so many times.
engaged, and and being just great.
So the only flat Earth pilot in existence is Quincy Carr, and he's a single engine pilot. He's never flown outside of his FAA sectional chart area. So he's never done a cross-country flight where he needed to plan the amount of fuel or anything like that. When I asked him about the charts that he used and what projection it is, he had no idea. Zero idea what projection the chart that he uses is. The Lambert conformal conic projection, I have these are up on the wall here. These are not FAA sectionals. FAA sectionals are just over the United States. This is the operational navigational charts, which aren't used anymore, but they're historic. You can get the entire set of them. You can download them for free if you search for Texas, University of Texas, Texas ONC charts. You can get all of these for free in PDF form. You can print them out yourself, and all of them in the legend says Lambert conformal conic projection, which is the same projection that the FAA sectional charts use. So if you're going to say that you think if you're going to have a pilot and you're going to have a flat Earth pilot and they use these charts, then they're not a flat Earth pilot. And Witsit talking about the Air Force pilot that he's talking about. No name, no interview, just some guy on the other side of an unknown wall who said things. Does he exist? I think there is somebody there. Is he pulling Witsit's leg? Is he sea lining Witsit? Could be. Is he actually a flat earther and he's just a dumb pilot? He could be. But if he ever flew on and used, had to plan the routes, he used these charts right here. So, you can get the sectional charts from FAA too. Just Google FAA sectional charts. They're available for free. And you can see right on them, Lambert conformal conic projection. They're not flat Earth maps. And if you connect them all together, you do not get a flat thing. You could tape them together. I did that. That's what this is right here. I taped them together. And when you put them together, they form a sphere. Now, the FAA sectional charts are just for the United States, so it's not large enough. These are cover the entire world, except for the where there's just water, because they're VFR charts, visual flight rules. So over water, over the oceans, there's nothing to see. You can't visually see things, right? So there's no point in having a chart where you are not allowed to fly if you're a VFR pilot. So they don't have it over the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the different oceans. But there are places like from Madagascar toward India where they do connect, because there's enough islands in there. So, all right. I've got Sean Griffin says, first time watching live, been binging your content since the Veritas video dropped. I'm glad you have a ton of content so I can catch up. Lol, thanks. Thank you very much, Sean Griffin. Zoomy Tomato says, Stacy's dad is pretty rad. And then a heart. Thank you. Thanks, Zoomy. And PhD Tony, this is really good. PhD Tony says there is no default position in science All hypotheses require evidence to be accepted as valid. And that's correct. That's totally correct. But in a debate, there is a valid default position. The default position in debate is the commonly accepted position. Let's see here. It's right here in this is the Debater's Guide. It says, I don't know if I'm going to find it right away. I might not have it. No, I don't have it marked. So anyway, in the Debater's Guide, in Lincoln Douglas debates or Mace or Oxford debates, there is a default position. It is the commonly held position. So if you're going to say anything about the default position, then it is that the Earth is a globe. And so the people taking the contrary to that have the bigger burden, right? The people that take the default position, all they need to do is defend the default position. They don't need to break down the other one, really. So, Sydney Raptor says, "G'day, mate. Been a while. Incognito John Rapp. Don't tell anyone." Okay, I won't. Your secret is safe with me. All right.
Obviously people are going to think, whatever they want to think, but I hope people are entertained. There are many not many tens of thousands, but there's over, 15,000 people watching. So a lot of people are entertained on a Saturday night, and they could have been watching some garbage. So this is obviously much better. I will read them all after I let these gentlemen get on with their Saturday nights, but I wanted to pick some that I thought.
Can we do like a 60-second closing or something at some point?
Absolutely. I'll do a 2-minute, and then because, you guys, should we coin flip for who goes last? It's like a criminal trial, right? So generally the prosecution goes last. But I'll just say
I'm indifferent.
Okay. Well, then we'll let Dave go first. Someone says, make Dave define one thing in detail that Austin has said is word salad. Well, he did that. I think he did do that.
No, he didn't.
It's not that he's using words that aren't real. It's that he's stringing together words in a way that isn't saying anything.
Give an example.
Scientific terminology. I can't remember if he didn't say anything, so it doesn't really stick.
Yeah.
Right.
The definition of word salad is incoherent rambling.
Yeah.
Typically associated with schizophrenia. So if I was saying, "Yo, chicken, yesterday sunset," whatever, dude. The fact you didn't understand the terms like anti-crepuscular rays and anisotropic and magnetic declination doesn't make it word salad. It means you need to
he understood all of those.
go inform yourself what the words mean.
I'm saying that those words don't pertain to any kind of explanation for what I was talking about. Magnetic declination isn't going to explain away looking at an object in the sky, seeing that it rotates a particular direction, going to the other hemisphere and seeing that it rotates in the other direction.
Now, you're trying to rebut my argument. You're trying to rebut my argument, but that doesn't don't just dismiss the argument as word salad. It's basically vocalizing inept vocabulary skills and bragging about it. It's super weird.
It's pointing out that you use a bunch of terminology rapid fire to make it sound like you know what you're talking about, to trick people into thinking that you know what you're talking about.
Somebody said this. I have a challenge for both Dave and Austin. Using your preferred method, model the Earth universe derived to the 9.8 meters per second per second. It's indisputable that falling objects accelerate towards the ground at that acceleration. Gravity is true. I'm a physics guy. So I think I don't want to every question somebody asked, I don't want to devolve into a 20-minute, but I think Dave would say gravity and Witsit would say density, right?
Yeah,
but the 9.8 meters per second is consistent. It doesn't matter if it's a bowling ball.
It's derived from Newton's law of universal gravitation, and you need the mass of the Earth in there. If gravity was electromagnetism, the mass of the Earth wouldn't be a factor.
Okay, you can get it from electrostatics. If you look at Gauss's law,
You can get it from electrostatics. Well, interesting. Witsit, I have this challenge here, Witsit. It's $10,000, Witsit, that you could get if you could actually derive 9.8 meters per second squared from Gauss's law. I know you can't, but it's right here. Anybody want to tell Witsit? Go ahead. You send this to him. You say, hey, $10,000. If you can't do it, you are admitting that you're wrong because you have motivation. You said you could do it just now. You said you could do it. $10,000 and you can do it. Go ahead. I've got no entry. It costs you nothing to enter. Exactly 0 to enter. So there's no risk to you to enter. Other than, well, if you do send it and it's really dumb, I'm going to laugh at it, of course, as deserved, right? But anyway, this is it. And the essence is you need to derive the specific downward acceleration for different points on the surface of the Earth. The amount of downward acceleration varies all over the Earth by a small amount. And all you need to do then is predict the specific amount for different locations. And you need to predict it better than gravity and centrifugal force do. Centrifugal acceleration. That's it. You just need to beat gravity at its own game. And where do these measurements come from? Well, there's many thousands of measurements using precise instruments accurate to 9 or more significant figures all over the surface of the Earth. It's the International Gravity Standard, ISGN, International Standard Gravity Network from 1971. So it's been around for 53 years. And they've measured the magnitude of the downward acceleration all over, and you can grab these thousands of measurements. I detail in my challenge how I calculate it, how I derive the magnitude of the downward acceleration. And you just have to provide how you do it. And you pick 5 ISGN 71 stations measurements, right? They've been done. They're available for free. I pick 5 IGSN measurements. And whoever is closest in magnitude to the 10 of them wins. If I win, nothing happens. It costs you exactly nothing. And if you win, you get my $10,000. I've got 0 entries on this one. 0. Witsit, you just said you can do it using Gauss's law. The reality is, though, Austin, that I know for certain that you cannot do Gauss's law. The reason why you cannot do Gauss's law is because it's not just simple algebra that you can't do. It's calculus that you can't do, right? So here we have, is this one, that one's not specifically Gauss's law, but we move on here and we get, there it is, an imaginary closed surface S that encloses point charge on the origin, right? So this is the diagram showing how you do Gauss's law, and then this is talking about the application of Gauss's law for electrostatics. Right? There's multiple applications of Gauss's law, not just for electrostatics, it's for gravity as well. And magnetism. Witsit, I know you can't do that. I know you cannot derive 9.8 meters per second squared from Gauss's law. You can't, because it's the same for all objects regardless of charge. And if it's Gauss's law for electrostatics involved, then the charge of the object is part of the variation in the magnitude. Yeah, PhD Tony. PhD Tony says Gauss's law doesn't apply to force. Yeah, it's a change in it's a flux change, right? Earthly Skeptic says you'll get it from electrocrap if you ask ChatGPT. Is that all right? Earthly Skeptic previous to that said eastbound is faster because jet streams. Sydney to SCL Santiago is 12 hours 40 minutes, and the other direction, Santiago to Sydney, is 14 and a half hours. So about a 2-hour difference, just 10%. QF27 is flying now, flares contracted. It will not go above 33 degrees south. Yep. It won't follow the path that would be necessary on flat Earth to be the shortest route. That would be double. It would take not 12 hours. It would take 24 hours. And the actual route it takes, mapped on flat Earth, would be triple, at least, maybe quadruple, right? Nothing at all. It's ridiculous. And of course, all that he does is he deflects away from it to say, well, there's a variation. Yeah, of course there's a variation because of the Earth's spin.
It's a very similar relationship. But what's funny is it actually doesn't always fall at 9.8 meters per second squared. That is an agreed upon average. It's close to.
It's a measured average. He always says agreed upon. It's measured.
That. It's close to that. No, in a vacuum it changes. There's something called gravimeter measurements, which is a vacuum sealed chamber with interferometry measuring a BB fall, and it'll fluctuate above 9.81. Right now it's decimal points, but the point is that it fluctuates at specific times when the electric field changes.
No, it doesn't. Now he's blatantly lying here. And I'll bring up the papers if he mentions them.
Even inside of a vacuum sealed chamber. So yeah, to claim it doesn't have anything to do with electric field is insane. Prove that it's space-time bending and warping, or...
Did he mention anything at all about where he got this from? Of course not.
We're winning because we can physically prove it's electric. So until you can prove another claim,
my gosh, just such a blatant lie.
You don't have the upper edge at all. It's actually the other way around.
Let Dave reply.
You cannot do anything with electromagnetism to demonstrate this. You cannot take objects of differing properties, paramagnetic, diamagnetic, ferromagnetic. Why does it not matter at all what the composition of an object is? It all falls 9.81 meters per second squared, not as the average, right? I know it varies depending on altitude and radius of the Earth where you are locally, but you cannot demonstrate any discrepancy. Take any object, a bar magnet, a iron, ferromagnetic iron, anything. Show me that it does anything different than what anything else does that's neutral. Wouldn't it interact with the field in a different way?
It actually is a drop tower test that was done in Europe at, I believe, a university, and they show different elements falling at different rates. And so this is the...
And how does that apply to electrostatics that he claims? It doesn't.
Truth, though, that the electric field that creates a...
Well, so this drop tower that he's talking about, it was one experiment, poorly controlled, just one time, not confirmed in any secondary experiment, nothing at all. It's just a one-off thing of a poorly controlled experiment.
Downward electric current of 10 microamps per meter. So it's very small and it's very nearly constant. So we don't expect the downward pressure to change much. That's a real verifiable part of physics. I can go out and measure it and manipulate it and make things float. Can you prove that space-time is bending and warping?
No,
of course not.
To what
you
said.
Can just assume.
No, you absolutely can. Relativity is very well corroborated, but you have absolutely zero ability, right? Opposite charges accelerate in opposite directions in an electric field, right? So why, again, does nothing fall up?
Okay, because when the object is more dense, density is the compactness of matter. So what holds the matter together?
So notice this. Dave asked, the topic is electrostatics. Austin claims that electrostatics is why things go down. And Dave said accurately that opposites attract and same charges repel, right? So then if that's the case in this electrostatic field that Witsit says is the cause, then there is a more positive charge at high elevation and a less positive charge at low elevation, right? A negatively charged object in that field, if that's the only thing that's causing the direction, a negatively charged object must accelerate up. A positively charged object must accelerate down. Yet we do not see this variation. And how could you test that? You rub something on a cat. So you need rub something on a cat. It would have to go up because the cat hair will charge it, give it a negative charge. It doesn't make any sense. And he completely skated past the question that Dave just asked him, and he's talking about density. Not the point. Density has nothing to do with the charge of the object.
It's electrostatic charges that gives it a compactness. Literally, all molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. And if you call that word salad, that's
Less
insane
dense
because
here,
that's just a
less
direct
dense
quote.
here. No, it is word salad because you're not answering the question. You're
It's a
just
direct quote
using
from
random
Purdue
terms.
University,
You're just-
dude.
Purdue? What?
I just quoted Purdue verbatim. So this is the problem with listening
Yes.
to people like this guy. They're just going to dismiss it as word salad. You can't have an intellectually honest conversation.
You're just
the point is that
guessing. It's just random. It's just random words. You just said density. I'm
All right,
asking
bro.
you why nothing falls up, and you answered density. Air is less dense here. Air is less dense here. In fact, this air is less dense than this air because it becomes
So?
less dense with elevation. Why does it fall down? Why does
it's still
everything
less
fall down?
dense in
Why
the
does
object in
everything in the
all
world fall down?
scenarios, Dave. Do you not know that? Even in a vacuum, it's still more dense than the environment or the medium, right?
But none of that explains the direction. None of that explains the direction. If it's density, then why is the air more dense down low? Right? Dave has a great point. It's less dense up. Things should be happier to go toward the less dense.
It doesn't
Right.
matter if it's a little bit less
And in a
dense, the
vacuum,
object's
it
still
falls
more dense.
down because the mass of the Earth is below it. So why doesn't anything accelerate upwards? Why doesn't anything fly to the other Gaussian surface? Why isn't anything repelled by the Earth?
Notice how Dave said Gaussian surface and Witsit says Gaussian surface. The difference here is this is important. Dave knows what he's talking about. He's familiar with the topic. He's worked through actual applications of Gauss's law. He knows what a Gaussian surface is. Witsit has no clue. He doesn't know the topic at all. He's never actually worked through any application of Gauss's laws. And so when he read it, all he did was read it and to try to find some lame excuse for how it works. And so he doesn't know how to say it because he didn't actually, confer with other people on the topic to work. Like when you're in school for these things, you're sitting there with other people doing homework. You're like, oh, how's this work? How's this like? Well, let's do these problems together, right? You don't have to. Some people don't, but you. And then you went to a lecture and you listened to the professor talk about Gaussian surfaces, not Gaussian surfaces. Oh my gosh.
Because there's a downward electric current.
There is no downward electric current in an electrostatic field. Nothing. His ignorance is just showing brightly here.
Magnetism.
There's a
Why
downward
can't you
electric.
flip the current. What about a lightning strike?
'Cause you can't
Everything
manipulate the
reverses
entire
polarity.
Earth,
When the
bro.
lightning strikes, does something there suddenly fly up to the cloud? There's a reversal of polarity there. Why
Okay.
is it that you can't?
I think Dave has been listening to me. Right. I don't. Maybe there's other people that have said this, but I don't know. To my knowledge, it's myself and Bryant Myers that were the ones that dealt with this nonsense when Witsit first invented it a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, whatever. And found in Witsit's own citation, right here. Here's his citation. You scroll down here. He talks about he's got these storms here, and in the vicinity of a storm, this is the one. In the vicinity of a storm, the field changes. You see here directly underneath there, you see the negatives on the ground, positives up high, and you see there the outside of that, you've got positives on the ground and negative up high. So in that area there, the electrostatic field has reversed. It's the other direction. So if it's electrostatics, you would have to fly up. And so Dave just mentioned that. I've mentioned this. Bryant Myers has mentioned this. Hey Dave, if you got this from me, awesome, thanks. And if you figured it out because you did, I mean, he's bright enough, he'd figure it out on his own. Awesome too. So, but did you catch what Witsit said? He said you can't manipulate the entire Earth, and this goes once again to his massive misunderstanding of how this works. You do not need to manipulate the entire Earth in order to reverse the electrostatic field in an area applying to an object. It's additive. So if you take the existing electrostatic field and you add another electrostatic field, they add together. And if it's in the opposite direction, then guess what? And it's a larger magnitude, then you've reversed the direction of that magnetic field. And Witsit thinks, in his complete ignorance of how any of this works, that you'd have to actually change all of it, that somehow the electrostatic field elsewhere applies to the object here, where the local electrostatic field is very specifically in a different direction. That's what he thinks. He's totally ignorant of how this actually works, and he dares to suggest that he thinks he understands this topic more than somebody that's obviously studied it and knows it well, right? I mean, he's got lectures on his own channel. Dave does on this topic. He's literally talking to a guy that does presentations on this topic, has a good understanding of it. Oh my gosh.
Can't get anything to fall up.
Okay, you cannot flip the entire electric field of the Earth. Now,
There, he said it again. Ignorant.
Not
for it to be
Earth,
analogous
locally,
to
right there, right under the lightning bolt. Something can fly up. No?
All
Never
right, here's
seen
what I'm
anything
going to do.
before?
I know that it's late. I'm going to give you both, first of all, a huge round of applause. Please, everyone in chat who's currently, the chat is just as hinged as I thought it would be.
Right, hinged or
everyone-
unhinged?
I mean, I unhinged. Yeah.
Unhinged. Yeah, I would have said.
But I really, really appreciate both of you being on. This is incredible, super entertaining. Everyone in chat, I don't care who you agree with or disagree with. Please check out these individuals' particular YouTube channels. I assume both of them will use this footage and make more content. Watch that. I want to give you guys both, what do you think? 3 minutes to go out on?
All right, before that, let's get a little bit of Witsit here.
is electro.
So Witsit, to just right to his claim, he claims that the bias is what causes the direction. And how do we know that? Because he said it himself, that the electrostatic, the direction of the electrostatic field that he claims is downward, that's not how electrostatics works. And if there was a movement, the only thing that moves in electrostatics is the actual electrons. So if you have negative low and positive high, then which direction is the actual flow of particles? Up, not down. Dummy. All right, here's what he says.
Is electrostatics. It sets the bias. It sets the up and down. It sets the bias. What it does is it sets the bias. Downward electric current just sets the bias. There's a downward electric current, sets the bias. Because it just sets the bias. It sets the up and down. And this just sets the direction of up and down. It sets the up and down. There's a downward electric bias that sets the direction.
No, there isn't. But he says there is. So he's bound by what he's said. We can test his claims. All right, let me before they get into that, I don't want to get too far behind on these. Some interactions with the audience here. We got Lord Illuminous Poos. Sorry, I missed some. Can we start over again? Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. You're gonna have to back up in the live stream and play it at quadruple speed. You can only play it at double on YouTube. On some other platform, I don't know. I was watching some derp on some other platform. You can play it at 4x. Like you can barely understand people talking at 2x because there's too much. It gets chopped. And then anyway, Axis of Rotation says, I agree. Can we start over again? Thanks, Mike. No, sorry. All the rest of us are gonna have to just say sorry. Here, you back it up yourself. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, I just completed the Pathogorian while covered in Gaussian bandages. I regret everything. So yeah, the Pathogorian is from Dustin Nemos, the horrible, awful person who who, when I presented an application of the Pythagorean theorem showing that the dip of the horizon must be extremely small for flat Earth, he said, "No, that's globe math. Instead, you need to apply the Pythagorean theorem." I just did. I loved it. I didn't correct him on the pronunciation. Again, if you don't understand a topic, you don't understand the pronunciation, or you're not familiar with the pronunciation of something, that's okay. But if you're claiming that you know more than somebody else on that topic and you're unfamiliar with even the pronunciation of it, that tells everybody a lot. Tells us a lot. You don't understand the topic because you haven't applied, you haven't talked with people, you haven't listened to people, you haven't worked through it. Dustin Nemos couldn't apply the Pythagorean theorem. He doesn't know how. It's not hard. He couldn't do it. Anyway, thank you for that, Lord Luminous Pooh. Mr. E-Man gifted 10 memberships. Everybody thank Mr. E-Man. And then Lord Luminous Pooh again says, Witsit is evidence IQ can score in the negative. But he says it's in the positive. He says, hold on. Hold on. I got it. Hold on. I do enjoy putting these things together sometimes. Here we go.
Dude, I'm not trying to brag here or whatever just to make my point. I'm in the higher percentile of IQ. You would get demolished. I would wipe the floor with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Literally, I would demolish that dude.
You're getting destroyed, though.
I'm not trying to brag here. Oh, okay. My 160 IQ disagrees with you. My genius IQ. Now I know all the answers. I have a genius IQ. I'm just saying, my genius IQ goes out the window. They'll claim I'm stupid, claim I'm dumb, when my IQ literally proves that that's not the case. I'm not trying to brag here.
I think I've done pretty well in the debates, and typically the opponents are not all that worthy. Humbly.
I mean, I need like 30 seconds. I don't need it.
Okay, all right. 2 minutes to go out on. And since I think Dave, you went first, leading in, we'll let Austin go first, leading out. But I want you both guys to know I'll have you back on any time you want. This was a blast for me. Like I know that chat, I know they enjoyed it. Obviously, both of you hope to educate people, but for me, I'm a loser entertainer, and I know everyone was entertained. So if everyone had a good time, please support whoever side you want. And I will read everybody's chats after I let these guys off the hook because they've got more important shit to do. So Austin, I will give you the floor. I will shut off my camera and give you 2 uninterrupted minutes. Plug whatever you want. Let people know where to find you. Watch your content, and then we'll go to Dave, and then I will stay on and respond to all the other stuff if that's okay with you guys. Does that sound okay?
Yep, sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually time it. So the default position is that the Earth's a stationary planet. It's what we all experience. Could, in theory, the Earth be a spinning globe? Sure. Whenever you point at the sky and say, look, it matches the globe, it's very ignorant.
What? Oh my gosh. The default position is that the Earth is a globe, because when you look at this, it's what we experience, right? We experience a crisp horizon. We experience things being obstructed bottom up. We experience a curved shadow on the moon. We experience the sun setting. We experience 2 celestial poles of rotation in opposite directions. All of these things confirm our experiences that the Earth is a sphere. And it's rotating. So the default position is that the Earth is a sphere. If you're going to claim that, both the default consensus as in a debate, the default position is that, or if you're going to say in science there's some sort of a default position, then I'll just say the same thing. All of those things say that. But here's what he's done. He has put together a couple pieces of evidence, and then claimed that those couple pieces of evidence give him the default position. Anybody can do the same thing, give a couple pieces of evidence and say, oh, mine is the default position. But in science, as PhD Tony said, there is no default position in science.
Because we made the globe model from the sky.
That's how you do science. That's how you make a model. That's what he's doing, is he's describing how to do science. Go ahead and do it for flat Earth. You can't. The fact that you can't tells us that it's wrong, right? If you can develop a model from observations, then test it, and it passes those tests, then that model is likely correct. And you can't do that, Austin.
Took observations and reverse engineered the way that we see the sky and assumed the Earth's a sphere. Of course it matches. That's how we made it. And it didn't match for hundreds of years. It had to constantly be updated.
It always matched. It always matched for hundreds of years. What hundreds of years did the Earth being a globe not match?
Being updated. Relativity is the most verified theory ever. Isn't true at all. 1933, Fritz Zwicky saw the galaxy cluster only had 1% of the mass it needed to actually keep the galaxies from escaping.
Oh my gosh, I don't think he's right on that. I don't know specifically what he's talking about. But let's again, everything that he talks about that it's an attempt to debunk the globe and support flat Earth contradicts flat Earth. So Fritz Zwicky looked at some many light years distant galaxies, not local, doesn't work with your dome, and said, oh look, the amount of mass in them doesn't match what we have for this current understanding of things. Okay, the amount of gravity in there doesn't quite match. Okay, but it's definitely gravity doing it. That doesn't work with flat Earth. Again, you've destroyed flat Earth again just to make this observation. This is the first law of Flerf. Every single time the first law of Flerf strikes.
That means it was missing 99% mass. That's called dark matter. It was originally called missing mass. It's still a major problem. Relativity can't even predict things on the quantum, local, or cosmological scale.
So relativity or gravity doesn't claim to predict things on the quantum scale, and there's something we don't understand about it at the galactic scale. That's not a falsification. That's how science works. Everything isn't understood. If everything was understood, then we could just stop doing science. That's the whole point of doing it, so we can gain a better understanding of how things work. And because that we've reached the edge of it, you're identifying the edge of our current understanding, isn't a falsification of anything. It's an identification of that's where the edge is. The problem is, for flat Earth, the edge is an infinitesimally small point because there is exactly nothing about the flat Earth that is understood and you can use to make predictions. So you're comparing this massive understanding, this very broad and accurate understanding of tons of things in the universe, versus the absolute nothing that flat Earth provides. Completely nothing. So, think about this. So the galactic rotational problem. Austin claims that they created the heliocentric model somehow. That there's some nameless, faceless they behind it. I think he makes it clear when he says that they brought in Einstein, and Einstein is a Jew. I think I know who they are in his mind. So he thinks that this group introduced the globe. So now, did this group that introduced the globe, and it all, according to him, has to be lies, and it's some massively orchestrated thing. And how is it? Why is it that they had Fritz Zwicky invent the galactic rotation problem? Why? It has to be invented. It has to be false, faked. in order for it to exist, right? Why did they do that? Why wouldn't they just not do that and not introduce problems into the model? Wouldn't it be so much easier to just have everything work perfectly? It certainly would. But for some reason, they had to do it because that's the only way it could have existed, right? He says, oh, he has no explanation for the galactic rotational problem. He offers nothing for that other than, oh, it's just lights in the sky. That's not an explanation. Yeah, I wonder why did they invent that problem? No sense. Makes no sense.
It's been falsified with things such as anisotropic light propagation, meaning light's actually in a variant, it changes, etc. So a lot of these,
again, just in case you don't know, this is not the case. What they do is Witsit and some of his buddies, they go find fringe experiments that are poorly controlled. They don't have good. They're not repeated. They're not published in journals that do perform due diligence on the experiments, right? They've gotten rejected or they've not even been presented to some of these journals. So it's this fringe science, and which is a typical part of pseudoscience, that they don't like peer review. They instead they skip past that and instead go to just presentations to people that are gullible, right? So, all right, let's hear him.
these things are a bit more complex. I encourage people to go actually look at my channel or Ether Cosmology and listen to us break down Einstein's papers, and you can hear him say it. Look at the tests that falsify this stuff. But this is the part that's very important. Falsifications independent of replacement. We were all told that the Earth's a spinning globe. It's very easy to mock and ridicule people that are much more informed and diligently research and actually go out and do tests in real life than actually looking.
Think about the hubris that he just put out there. He's claiming to be the one that actually goes out and does research in real life and actually does experiments. To my knowledge, really, I've seen his Van de Graaff generator, which is a misunderstanding of how electrostatics applied to an insulator will cause a force. Right? It'll cause an acceleration to it. He doesn't understand how that works. So, the very, sparse numbers of experiments compared to, the annals of science that are full of actual real experiments. He's claiming that he's done the experiments, and all of the annals of science that include experiments, they don't even exist. He's just like, nah, ignore all of them. The hubris, the absolute hubris.
Into it for yourself, I get it, but just calling them names, appealing to consensus, whatever, doesn't matter. This is a crazy conversation, and actually what we have proven for step one is that the Earth is stationary, and that's been done with interferometry. And so even Einstein admitted that if the interferometry measurements were correct, that his entire theory is wrong and the Earth is stationary, effectively being
the cherry picking and lying here is just disgusting. It's what a weasel. Absolute weasel. It's gross how awful and horrible he is here. Just this snake lying about things. Einstein didn't none of this that he's saying Einstein said isn't true. And so here this is important. Witsit knows that he's got this audience from the quartering, and he's specifically playing and feeding lies to them, so that he can fool them to get them to come over to become part of his crew on his channel there. He's spreading lies, intentionally manufacturing these lies. Or he's stupid. Maybe he's stupid. But I'm saying that he's intentionally manufacturing these lies. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's a liar, not stupid. As if that's an improvement.
the implication, we have verified that the interferometry changes with altitude, periodicity, etc.
No, you haven't. It in fact hasn't. And so verified that the rotation. So the Sanyak effect, interferometers, ring laser gyroscopes that measure rotation. He's talking about Bob Nodell taking the gyroscope up to a higher elevation. And I've seen the raw data. The temperature of the device changed dramatically. So what he did actually prove is that the temperature changes affect the device. But a little something. Auguste Piccard tested this exact claim that he's talking about and did not find a confirmation of it. But they don't like that. They will hand wave dismiss the results from Auguste Piccard. They don't like it.
Long story short, it has been proven that the Earth is stationary. It is therefore in the center of the universe. All observations ever showed that. The globe claims everything is actually an illusion. It just looks like the Earth's in the center. It looks like the Earth is flat, but it's really not. Everything is just an illusion. So I encourage you to inform yourself about it, because you can't really be confident in your position until you actually know what your position is. And the vast majority of people don't even understand the globe model. So they actually don't know what they believe in. So that's really the only reason I do this, is to encourage people to at least inform themselves about what they believe before they're so.
Now, this is a common pseudoscientist tactic, right? He is talking, his target market is people that will not do the due diligence. Right. And pseudoscientists all the time say, do your own research, knowing that the people that won't do their own research will hear that and say, oh, he's so confident that he's inviting me to do my own research. He must be right. He's done his own research. I'll trust him and not do it. That's what is the target here, and the people that will buy into it. Right. They won't go and actually read the papers that he didn't cite. They won't actually go and read the well-controlled, the peer-reviewed, the multiple times that they've been repeated. They won't look at those, right? And if you do go over and you see Witsit's buddies, who are the ether cosmology people, they read fringe papers published by people that don't have a really good understanding of what they're doing a lot of the time. Some of them are okay, scientists, but of course people have biases, and so a lot of these people have biases. So that's his tactic.
Confident in it.
Thanks, Austin. Thanks so much, dude. Dave, lead us out. I'll stay on live after Dave's final here, but yeah, thank you both for coming on.
Cool. No, he's absolutely wrong. The default position is that the Earth is a sphere, and as predicted, he chose to obfuscate by going to relativity and Einstein and all these things, which are not helpful. Since antiquity, we've known that the Earth is a sphere. All observations demand that the Earth is a sphere. He was absolutely incapable of answering this. He just did a thing about, if you look in a different direction, it's going to spin the other way. Doesn't make any sense. Was totally unable to explain this. Utilize magnetic declination. Again, these positions are nowhere near the magnetic pole. And so the idea that they could just suddenly all be looking in the same direction because magnetic declination. I'm sorry, David Weiss. I'm sorry, Austin. This is not sufficient explanation. Day and night's regions of illumination, all we got was a little toddler, shine a light on a thing where there's supposed to be a dome, even though there's not actually any dome, and the sun's going to be outside, or is it going to be inside? Doesn't make any sense either. South Pole, come back to that again, day and night. Southern Hemisphere, we did not get to any adequate explanation of how this route is possible. He just said, they go really fast. I don't remember what he said, some wind or something. And we definitely have absolutely no explanation for this Antarctica Cup ocean race. These boats are not going all the way the entire world, turning the opposite direction of where they are actually turning. So I think that was pretty fun. I think we managed to stay away for the most part from the esoteric aspects of modern physics that Austin likes to spew his word salads about. And we stuck for the most part to things like gravity and things falling. So it was somewhat productive, but I do look forward to Austin going to the South Pole.
Hell yeah. I'll go with you, bud.
Seeing
I'm
the
built for it.
24-hour sun, and then I can't wait to see his video saying, I now believe it's a sphere, and then we can be rid of this idiotic flat Earth disease forever, hopefully. Maybe in 1,000 years it'll come back somehow. I don't know.
Gentlemen, you both killed it. You're both incredibly entertaining and very respectful and well prepared. And I want to thank you for coming on. And I want to remind everyone in chat, please do, I don't care whose quote unquote side you picked. Check out both of their channels. Both are linked in the description. I think it's good to take in both sides of whatever conversation is going on. Fellas, thank you so much for coming on. I will wrap it up with chat here too, and let them know what's going on. You obviously can reach out to me anytime. Use this content how you see fit, and have an incredible weekend, both of you, please.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for listening, man. What's up?
Oh yeah, it was a blast. Thank you.
All right. That is done. I got more. Yeah, I think that Dave, I've got some libations in here. All right, Dave. Well done. You treated him with the derision that he has earned. The basic stuff, and Dave nailed it. He identified from the beginning that Witsit can't do basic things, and he diverts away to cherry picking complex topics that he knows his audience will never look at, and he knows that he's never been able to do. And Sean G right here said, if you ask the Ether boys to do their math, they run away. So the Ether boys would be Witsit, Tony, Alan, Shane, so these other people that have this ether cosmology nonsense. They're trying to talk about relativity and the Gauss's law, things that are complex and require calculus and more detailed and higher end math that they can't do high school math. Austin can't do seriously, he can't do 9th grade or 8th grade algebra. He can't. He sent Bryant Myers a thing that he had ChatGPT generate, and didn't change the formatting in the email. He just copy pasted it so that all of the formatting from ChatGPT was still there, so you could see that it was from ChatGPT, and it was a mess of every single line of it was an incorrect 8th grade, 9th grade algebra step. Austin thought that this was somehow equating electrostatics with gravity, and didn't have the capability to even look at it to see that every single step of it made an algebra mistake. So he can't do algebra. Hold on. I'll hold on. Let's see. I have no, not that. Let's see. Hold on. There it is. All right. Another montage that I put together.
And they'll say, oh, you just can't understand math. And I literally used to get accused of cheating in my algebra honors class, right? Because I wouldn't show my work and I'd be the first done, and she thought I was cheating. And I'd have to go, she'd give me a new piece of paper, a new test, and I'd just breeze through it in front of her again, and to prove I wasn't cheating. And then she'd end up accusing me of cheating again, and numerous math classes this actually happened, but it doesn't matter. I'm certainly not trying to brag. Yeah, like when I was good at algebra and I would just like
that's 100% bragging.
Breeze through algebra and do it in like 2 steps.
You should call and talk to some of my teachers. I used to get in trouble because they said I was cheating on my algebra because I didn't have to work it out.
But I had like an aptitude for math. Like if I sat down with you guys when we were in high school and Algebra 2 honors, I would have smoked you, dude.
I'm certainly not trying to brag.
I used to finish long form algebra without showing the work.
But I literally have an
like an aptitude for math, bro.
I have an aptitude for math.
I'm so tired of people saying I can't do math, dude. I scored like incredible on my math entry exams and the college preparatory classes and stuff like that, and full ride to private university and stuff.
Honestly, I just got a full ride to play football.
But I literally
Listen to this again. This is, I love this.
Classes and stuff like that, and full ride to private university and stuff.
Honestly, I just got a full ride to play football.
But I literally have an aptitude for math, bro.
And dude, it's well known that I have like an aptitude for math.
I'm certainly not trying to brag. I got a scholarship to a private university.
So he likes to mention that he got a scholarship, that it was a full ride scholarship, which I don't believe. But it was to play football. But he likes to mention the full ride in relation to smart things, to academic things. He's intentionally leading people to think that the reason why he got the full ride scholarship was because of his smartification. And for reference, he did not play one snap of football in college, and he dropped out in the first semester. And I don't think he got a scholarship because he went to it's not NCAA, a NACA, I think, university, like the next tier down from NCAA. And they have a limit to the number of full ride scholarships they can give out. So with very few exceptions, they tend to divide their scholarships into half scholarships or quarter scholarships instead of full ride scholarships. And then if they did give him a full ride scholarship, why did he never get a snap the first year? Why not one snap? I don't know. I guess. I mean, I do know. We all know. He didn't get a full ride. He wasn't. I don't think he was nearly as good at football as he likes to think he was. So, anyway, so we got Lord Illuminous Poose's school didn't. Oh my gosh, he spelled it all weird. School didn't do me no good. Teacher said pi are square. I said nah, pi are round. Cobbler are square. And my 160 IQ proofs it. Can't believe he's my 160 IQ. Astro Kate says 160 IQ and he can't determine how rotation works. Yeah. One of the things that they do in IQ tests is spatial orientation. And he clearly really struggles at spatial orientation, as we'll see in a little bit here. That's coming up. Stringers One says the only default position is show your work. Yeah. Lord Illuminous Poo says science knows it doesn't know everything. If it did, it would stop. Like natural remedies, we tested them, and the ones that worked we call medicine. Yeah. Yeah. A natural remedy isn't good because some ancient culture used it. It's good or bad because it works. And if there's a little bit of a challenge in natural remedies, but you need to, if it works, then it will succeed in being tested for working. The challenge is, of course, that modern medicine has a financial incentive to test the things that they're making. If they're making a new medicine, because then they get an 18-year patent to it and exclusive rights to sell it and all those things. If it's a natural remedy, if say, this particular plant, addresses something of this particular disease, well, there isn't a financial incentive to pay for the double-blind studies for that, because if they do determine that it's the case, then they can't patent the solution to it, or that particular remedy. It's a challenge. It is. But if somebody's making some claim, then you do need to have some sort of backing to it. Whether or not it's difficult to do, it needs to have some backing to it. That's why the FDA gets on the cases of people that make bold claims. So test them with leeches. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, and the rest of them we call tea. The natural remedies. Yep. Lord Illuminous Pooh again says, what's worse, the word salad, or when you back him into a corner, he lists every fallacy he can think of. Oh yeah, when he's cornered, it's fallacy time. It's just throw that mud at the wall and see which ones stick. The Sun Express says it was Vera Rubin who provided the strongest evidence for Mr. Zwickie's position on dark matter. Women, the one thing flirts fear more than spheres. Imagine women with spheres. Titicaca. Thank you, Sun Express. PhD Tony says, you have more? You can't threaten us like that. Oh yeah, I've got a good one, a good two more here. And then Schrodinger's chat says, Witsit's audience thinks that doing your own research means finding a YouTube video that agrees with their conspiracy theory. That is exactly what they do. I mean, how many times has a flurf come on here and said, oh, I heard about flat Earth and then I tried to debunk it and I couldn't, so I had to admit it. And you're like, yeah, we know what you did in that attempt to debunk. You watched, 100 hours of flat Earth videos. That's not attempting to debunk, right? It's easy to debunk flat Earth. The sun could never set. That's it. The sun could never set on flat Earth. All of the ancient cosmologies that they like to bring up, all of them, right? Not all of them. The ones that we know about thought that the sun went underneath the Earth at nighttime. So you don't get to say ancient cosmologies because they disagree with you. So, all right. Billy J36 said, emailed you Witless's attempt to get Tony banned and Shane's plagiarism denial. All right. Thank you. I'll have a look at that. Okay. Let me get to a little something fun here. Well, here is this.
On the moon phases real quick. I was curious, what is a full moon and what is a new moon on your model?
I think it's probably like a magnetic cycle, and just like the center of a ferrocell cell image of a magnet, it's just completely black. It's actually just pure inertia in the center, the ferrocell cell image of a magnet. I think that's what it is. It just actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up, and once it becomes like etherically displaced again, you start to see it charge up throughout a cycle, and then it goes back.
All right, here you go, a little sample.
I think it's probably like a magnetic cycle, just like the center of a ferrocell spiral. Image of a magnet, it's just black in the middle. It's actually pure inertia, not just a little. In the ferrocell image of a magnet, it actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up. It becomes like etherically displaced. Yeah, you start to see it charge up once more, and it goes back like it did before. Once it becomes like etherically spaced, you see it charge up and take its place. Oh, shucks, ain't that so? In the magnet's heart, centrifugal divergence flies, centripetal convergence pulls define all the skies. Etheric whispers sing, light and shadow blend, magnetic cycle spin, where physics seems to bend. In the ferrocell image of a magnet, it actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up. It becomes like etherically displaced. Yeah! Grab your partner, swing around, magnetic cycles up and down. Ether song in the air, hillbilly science everywhere this place. You ought to be a play.
All right. There you go. I need to put a little bit of video to that, and then you can enjoy that song. I love that. Anyway, yep. Etherically Displaced is the name of that song, and it is 100% pure certified word salad. I got another one coming up. Melodic Lyrics says Witsit uses CMB. Witsit hurts itself in confusion. It puts the lotion on its skin. I mean, no, never mind. PhD Tony says credit where credit is due. If that university offered a snake oil salesman degree, Austin would be on full academic scholarship. Yes, he would. Snake oil salesman degrees, though, are not offered by universities, fortunately. So Global Mom says on a flat stationary Earth, there wouldn't be tornadoes, hurricanes, or water spouts because there would be no Coriolis effect. Now, I don't think that tornadoes are due to Coriolis. Hurricanes, yes. And water spouts? Is that I don't know. Water, do you mean whirlpools? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know. Update me on that one, Clover Mom, if what you mean by water spouts. But yeah, I don't want to, I'm not super certain on tornadoes, but I don't think that they're caused by Coriolis. But hurricanes, yes. So, okay. The other one. The other thing I've got. Okay. So Austin reviewed the debate on Monday night. And in there, the number one thing that Witsit couldn't do, which also is the first thing that Professor Dave brought up, which also is the thing that Witsit's been whining and crying about on Twitter. Go find him and let him know that what you think about his position on the South Celestial Pole rotation. Well, he whined and cried about it. Okay, a water spout is a tornado over water. Okay, thank you for that, Jerry Covington. He, in his review, he spent a good deal of time whinging about that particular topic, and he graced us with a full explanation with all the geometry and perspective application. I can't say it with a straight face. For how he thinks it works. So here is just a taste of that 4 hour and 10-minute review he did of the debate. So here we go.
Because I know flat Earth is indefensible.
Make that consent.
Oh, oops! I accidentally timed it to have him start saying that. Totally an accident.
I will continually drag him back to very simple, naked eye observations and basic logic that prove the Earth is a sphere without any understanding of physics whatsoever. Number one, the observations of the stars. In the northern hemisphere, the stars rotate counterclockwise. In the southern hemisphere, they rotate clockwise. This makes absolutely no sense on the pizza land. Why would the sky be rotating in opposite directions, just depending on where you're standing?
Now, on Twitter, he went away from he tried to declare that Professor Dave wasn't asking that. You go on Twitter, he's like, I was trying to tell him a better position for himself to take. What? All right, well, listen to him now.
Also, why can't we all see the same stars?
I'm sorry, I got to pause it again. I'll try not to do it too much because it's just an opener.
Okay, now if you actually look at the transcript of this, half of what he says right now is whinging. Pay attention to the whinging.
But this is such a joke. Okay, I gotta call it out right now. So all the people, so if you go read the comments and stuff, even Globe Earthers are like, okay, that's ridiculous. They've lost, right? He did terrible. But there are some that no matter what we could secretly set up a flat earther to pretend to be a globe earther and just intentionally do terrible and lose every single point. It could all be scripted, and they could just get destroyed on every single point, not even close. And there will be people that claim that I got destroyed. There will be people that claim that I lost as soon as I showed up because I'm wrong. And they don't understand that you can win or lose a debate whether you're right or wrong. Very simple stuff, right? But they're going around claiming I couldn't even address the first point, because this is what he opens with once we go into open discussion. Listen to what he just said. I need, if you're new here or if you're interested in this conversation, you need to actually think about this, okay? There are people saying, oh, he destroyed him with the one argument about how they move different ways. He couldn't answer it. He couldn't address it. Dude, it's very simple. Think about this. If I draw a circle.
Okay, so all of that was whinging. All of that. Now he's going to actually attempt to address the challenge. Now remember, it's that there exists a north celestial pole rotating one direction and a south celestial pole rotating a different direction. That's what he is going to attempt to address.
Circle like this right here, okay? If I'm looking at the circle, I see counterclockwise. If you were looking at me draw this circle from over here on the other side of me looking towards me, you would see it go clockwise. If I had a window and I was drawing a circle on the window, right? So say it had fog on it and I'm drawing a circle in it. The people in the house are going to see one direction. The people outside the house are going to see the opposite direction because they're looking in opposite directions. This is something so elementary and just basic and indisputable. The fact that he got that wrong and denied it, and people are claiming it was his biggest win, should tell you all you need to know about what we're about to see. Just so you know, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. All the stars go east to west. If you look different ways, you're going to see them.
So it's not about east to west. It's about the rotation direction.
Move different ways simply based on perspective alone. It dictates that happen. Next thing he got wrong, very rudimentary. He said that it's just based on the hemispheres, that the way you see the stars move is just based on the hemispheres. That isn't true. You can see clockwise and counterclockwise in both the northern and southern quote unquote hemisphere. If you look south, you see it go the opposite way, clockwise, and then you do when you look north. It doesn't even matter. It's not hemisphere specific. This should be so utterly embarrassing that he came to discuss this after making tons of videos for years with tens of millions of views, and he thinks that it's actually based on hemisphere alone, when it's literally not. That's utterly embarrassing. Okay, but I wanted to go ahead and address.
Okay, so Witsit's explanation for why you see the south celestial pole rotating in the opposite direction as the north celestial pole is if he draws a circle on a window and you're on the other side of the window from him, then you will see him draw that circle in the opposite direction. It won't go clockwise or counterclockwise. It'll reverse that. But that's not what we see. We don't see from the other side of the north celestial pole. Right? The people in the southern hemisphere, the people south of the equator, when they look at the south celestial pole, are not sitting on the opposite side of the window, as he said, the window. The window. He thinks that saying, oh, if somebody's on the opposite side of a window, you'll see me draw a circle the opposite direction. Where is this window? The north celestial pole is that window, and the people in the southern hemisphere are viewing the north celestial pole from the other side. Are they hovering above the north celestial pole to see it rotating in the opposite direction? Is that where they are? Because that's where he just said they have to be. That's where he just said they have to be. The perspective version of this is they're on the other side of the north celestial pole physically in order to see it rotating the opposite direction. But they're not actually there. They're, according to Witsit, on the other side of the pizza, or toward the outside perimeter of the pizza, looking the opposite direction, the absolute cardinal opposite direction of where the north celestial pole is. Right? They're not on the opposite side of that window. None of this makes sense at all. And he thinks this is a thing. He thinks this is a legitimate response. He again, is he absolutely mind-bogglingly stupid to think that's legitimate? Or is he an absolute, just masterful weaver of a tapestry of deceit? And he's doing it to fool the people that are mind-bogglingly stupid enough to think that that is a legitimate explanation. Which, it's one of those two things. There's no other explanation. This is incredibly wrong. No question about it. He is just declared that the people in the south of the equator, people that are on the perimeter of the dirt pizza, have to be on the opposite side of the window that is the North Celestial Pole. What an absolute, just complete charlatan. Yeah. Professor Phil Bell says he is completely confident that his minions are stupid. Yep. IC Spin says, I forget, what day do we lose our sky to Witsit? Well, it was going to be weeks ago, months ago, maybe. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, if time travel is possible and you try to change the past, that means you were there and obviously you failed. I call it temporal inertia. Anything that has happened as a tendency to have happened. Very, very challenging statement there. Thank you for that, Lord Illuminous Pooh. I'll think about that next time I watch Back to the Future. And Baux1 says Flurfs can't 3 dimensions. Yeah, all right. It's thank you, Baux. How does he think? How does the mind of somebody, because there's people, whether he believed it or not, doesn't matter. There are people in his audience that gobbled it up. Not just people in his audience, but Dearth. Dearth gobbled it up on Twitter, on X. I'll pull it up. I will, it's just insane how crazy wrong he is. Okay, I'll see if, I don't know if I can pull up a Twitter without being logged in. No, I can't. All right. So I'm going to have to share a different window. Now, I can't, unfortunately, I can't, with my normal account, see Witsit's tweets because he has bravely blocked me with my primary account. So I have to do it with my secondary account, but I'll do it here for you. Let me set it up real quick. I have to just change what I'm sharing here to this other one. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. Oh, that's not it. Okay, hold on. It's coming. It's coming. Give me a second. There it is. All right. All right. It's quite something. It's quite something here. Whoa. It switched. Why did it switch? All right, hold on. All right. Almost there. There we go. Okay. It didn't do it. It did the wrong thing. Man, OBS is being a little funny on me here. All right, come on. OBS, I don't know. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. It can't find Firefox. What's going on? So I have Firefox logged in with my my secondary Twitter account. So, man, that's a strange one. Okay, maybe I'll use a different one. But no, nothing. It's not finding my Firefox. Jeez, that's really an interesting conundrum. Well, I tell you what, I will just have to screenshot it, I guess. And so yeah, he was whinging on Twitter, of course. So all right, here we go. Screenshot that, and then I'll get a couple here. So and then Dearth is coming to his defense. It's so funny. It's he's such an absolute. Dearth is he's so dumb. He's so stupid. All right, and there we go. I got him. I'll get the screenshots. A weird thing that OBS is not liking the Firefox. I wasn't expecting that. So okay, 1, 2, 3. So okay, there we go. All right, here it is. So here is. Oh, that's Dearth. So here's Witsit. Witsit says, oh, it's cropped. Let me fix that for you. Okay. Okay, he says that literally wasn't his point. I tried to address that point and even tell him that his better argument. So Witsit's he's claiming that he was trying to tell Professor Dave what argument Professor Dave should have. His argument was that his better argument, and he insisted the actual directions themselves were impossible to explain. He then outright denied looking different directions would make them appear to go opposite directions, which of course they would not. Looking opposite directions does not cause you to see things rotate clockwise versus counterclockwise. Would make them appear to go opposite directions repeatedly. It's literally all recorded and you guys are defending it. It's awesome. So what did I do? I got a transcription from YouTube of the actual text of what Professor Dave said. I responded there and quote from Dave. If I draw a circle like this right here, okay. Oh no, sorry. Here's the quote from Professor Dave. How are you getting the sky to rotate in opposite directions depending on where you're standing? At about 1930 in the debate. Austin's answer, it's based on looking different directions. It's based on looking different directions. That's really what he thought would be an appropriate answer. And it's a different response to him. I said, you're insanely huge ego that you imagine you're the only one that could possibly figure out cardinal directions because magnetic declination exists. All right. Anyway, so my response was then I quoted Witsit's, the thing that we just saw. I quoted his response from his video there. Quote from Witsit. If I draw a circle like this right here, okay, I'm looking at the circle. I see counterclockwise. If you were looking at me, draw the circle from over here on the other side of me. You have to be on the other side of the window. Looking toward me, then you would see it go clockwise. If I had a window and I was drawing a circle on the window, right? So say it had fog on it, I'm drawing a circle on it. The people in the house are going to see one direction. The people outside the house are going to see the opposite direction because they're looking in opposite directions. Witsit is claiming, I said, quick, are you claiming that people in the southern hemisphere are on the opposite side of the north celestial pole? somewhere floating above it as required for your examples to work. For example to work, yep. Anyway, no, I didn't. IC Spin, I did not run Firefox as admin. I'm on a Mac, so that's not a trivial thing to do. No, I don't. It's just regular. I don't know. Somehow OBS got a little confused. So anyway, that is that insanity from Witsit that he thinks that somehow they're in a different, on the other side of the celestial pole. That's not the thing. It's a different pole. The stars are not the same. You don't see the same stars in the south celestial pole as in the north celestial pole. Some flurfs have tried to grasp at that straw, that there's some sort of a duplication of the stars. It's an absolute ridiculous, preposterous attempt, but it's funny that they do it. So anyway, there you go. I don't know how anybody could be. How dumb do you need to be to think that that's an explanation? Right? I'm not saying that Witsit's that dumb. He could be lying in order to fool his audience. But people are actually fooled by it, and I'll show you. I'll prove it right now. This is Witsit, or not Witsit. This one at the top here. I cropped it. I didn't get a good screenshot. That's from Dearth. That's from Dearth. This is how stupid Dearth is. Quote, not understanding how when you turn around, it changes the clockwise orientation of the stars is just like not understanding that east and west are circles. You guys are so pathetic. Oh, people in stone houses should not throw their glasses. Anyway, I said, keep digging that hole, scammer. Your grift is ending. And FDFE comes in with the knockout punch here. Put a clock on the ceiling. It goes clockwise when you look at it. At which point does it start going counterclockwise? Dave Weiss is a scammer. 100%. It's really difficult to fathom this. Anyway, Stephen McCullough says flats is his base, and it's painful. He's grift. Yeah. I see it all the time. If you watch the Veritas 8-hour video, you'll see the different flat earthers that different people have debated. People that I debated, like saying the absolute stupidest things. Flat Earth collects idiots. The dumbest humans on the planet become flat earthers easily. Everybody put in the chat, type in the chat, a dumb flat earther. Not the dumbest, just a really stupid flat earther, right? Somebody that's just incredibly stupid. I'm going to say Victor Kroot. Victor Kroot. And we've got Mikey Smith, we've got JM Truth, we've got Witsit, CC, Flatzoid, Dearth, Shane St. Pierre, Treycation, Ziggy, Nathan Thompson, Daniel Pratt, SSUM, which is Dan. Oh my goodness, David Kane. Let's see. There's so many. Effed Up World, Vicky, Witless, Brian's Logic, Caleb, Howard Stirrup, Fax, Pissy Dave, Light Before the Tunnel, Ross, Effed Up World, all the Nathans, The Cation Guy, Treycation, Fax, Dan Pratt, Flatzoid, them, CC Banjo, Flatzoid, Santos Bev, Mindshock Banjo, D Marble, Iron Horse, Anthony Riley, B.O.B., Dr. Ross, Dr. Rasa, Brian's Logic, D Marble, all of the above, the Prism Guy, Riley, Ross Pull It Up, the whole lot of them, that guy, D-Mock, Sam, Gary Wybenga, Quantum Eraser, Crane Guy, that's Leo Level Earth Observer, there, Flat Earth Observer, Left-Handed Jedi says, Iggy, Whoosh, D-Mock, Santos, Harp. Oh my gosh. Leo. Gene Techman. Dearth. Real Offended. The Canadian Guy. Pea Drinker. There's so many of them. Ross does come to mind. Jaren, Tony Naum, Leaky, 10th Man, TM. Oh yeah, on MTM on Twitter. Murphy, Dave Murphy, Temu, Quantum Degreaser, Cations, SE Montreal. Yep, Level Bev. It just keeps going, right? It's not hard, and there weren't a ton of overlaps, right? Some of you came up with the same name, but it just went on and on and on of people that are really stupid. And there's no question about these people being really stupid. There's no question about it. Lemon Bird. Oh, Dion Smo. Southern Israelite. There's so many of them. Yes. Earthly Skeptic. Patricia Steer. Terry R. Eicher. Russian Vids. Oh my gosh. Kyle Adams. Marissa! Brenda comes in with Marissa. Spurs Chemo, Vlad, The Plain Truth, Travis, SE Montreal, Arwin. I mean, it goes and goes and goes. Globe Slayer, 33 UC. Oh, it doesn't end. Oakley, Karen B. Bro Sanchez. Oh, he's dumb. He's so dumb. Right the Hand. Dustin Nemos. Eddie Bravo. Mallory's the only smart one, but she's not real. She's not real. Orphan Red. Rachie 50s? No, she's smart. She got out. Has anyone mentioned Chris? CC Chris. Shed Rage Dell. All right. Keep typing them. Yep. They just go on and on and on. Now, okay. Stop typing them. We got them. We got Stormy. We got Jaren, Brenda. Wait, hold on a second. Brenda? Lael, don't say Brenda. All right, stop for a second. Stop. Delano TV. Ready? Hold on. Ready? Name the... You got to stop for a second. Oh, big slapper. Okay, ready. Name the smart flat earthers. There you go. While you ponder that one, I'll read from BTF Wayne. It says adults make observations, write the report afterwards. Grifters work in reverse. That's all there is to it. Absolutely. So, all right. Who are the smart flat earthers? Rachie 50s. Mallory. Let's see. Oh, it jumped on me. Ranty. ST, Seek Truth, Speak Truth. People are saying Mallory. Yep. What about Jose JG Gonzalez? Right? Yeah, Jose. Sean G. Sean G was here earlier today. I don't know if he's still around, but Sean G. So, yeah. There are some, of course, but they are no longer flat earthers. And we say Mallory because it's a tongue-in-cheek. It's a comedy thing. Mallory is not lit really. So, yes, it's a trick question. And Lael again says Brenda. Lael giving Brenda crap today. All right, PhD Tony says, what about photos of star trails at the equator? Well, yeah, the star trails at the equator don't quite work for flat Earth, do they, Tony? You can clearly see, if you use a 360-degree lens, you can clearly see that there are two celestial poles, something that could not possibly work according to flat Earth geometry. So, let's see. Hold on. Blackburn Big Dragon says, my wife literally cannot handle being in the same room with a computer with Mallory's voice coming out of it. She cannot handle Mallory. Hey, Sean G's still here. Hey, Sean G. You know what? I'm going to fix something that has been a problem that I need to address. There you go. You're a moderator now, Sean. Mallory is a polarizing person. Some people really they can't get enough, and some people absolutely are like every time she's on, people in the comments are like a handful are like, I can't stand her, she's the worst. 3 seconds and her voice is grating, and I'm right, and other people like, oh, I can't get it. Oh, it's so good. Seriously, dudes, if you're that lonely, I don't know. Buy yourself a full-size body pillow of Angelina Jolie circa Tomb Raider. All right. Whatever you say, Mallory is a ton of fun, and the amount of craziness that she brings is always amazing. So, Chris77 Lael 45 says MC Tune is still and always has been afraid to debate me, the king of the flurfs. He's not a flurf. So, anyway, next week, I got to tell you a couple of things. Next week, Craig is out of town. He's on vacation. So, I'm like, well, tell you what, Craig, I will try to do a couple more live streams next week. So I'm going to attempt to fill FTFE's giant shoe. He's only got one working leg. I'm going to just say that he's only got one shoe. Love you, Craig. Anyway, I'm going to try to fill his giant shoe and do a couple extra live streams for your benefit, for your entertainment. Be looking for that. So I'll ask one thing of you, if you can. If there's a flurf that you think might debate me, mention it to him that I am looking to debate people in a little more quantity next week for your laughter and viewing pleasure. So there you go. Awake souls. Oh. M-Ball says, Mike, are you a fake Christian? I don't know what would be a fake Christian, but I don't believe that I am. I believe that I am a legit Christian. But flat earthers often think that in order to be a real Christian, you have to be a flat earther too. That is literally a position that people take. So they think that if you're not a flat earther, you will burn in hell. I'm not exaggerating. Lady Blunt spoke about that, but more recently, if you go to Justin Peters and the first video he did on against flat earth, so Justin Peters is a Christian evangelist, and he did a video debunking flat earth, and he got a huge amount of blowback from religious flirts on there, including a whole bunch that said you're gonna burn in hell because you think that. No kidding. Yeah. So Icy Spin, who's the guy that pretended to take measurements in Australia of the port and you outed him for his decade-long scams? That would be Danny Seppings. Danny Seppings. Saw on my channel about 2.5 years ago, I think. Anyway, so Barry F says, try being a Christian that believes in evolution. Okay, it's working out pretty well for me. There's organizations of Christians, nonprofits that have that position. So, right, it is a position that people hold, believe it or not. And I think that the Christians that believe that say evolution is not real do the same thing that flat earthers do. They use the anti-scientific method. I'll bring it up. Hold on, let's see. We got topics, science. There it is. All right. I'll bring it up quick. So anybody, regardless of your position on anything, if this here is what you do, then you are not seeking truth. So anybody that calls themselves a truther and begins with the conclusion and then makes sure that everything matches their conclusion, they have excluded the possibility of truth from the start. So And it is my I do think that the young Earth creationists generally take a particular interpretation of the Bible and begin with that particular interpretation of the Bible as their necessary conclusion that they have to have. So they start with the required conclusion, and then they go to step 2 and they only accept confirming evidence. They reject all contradicting evidence, and then they declare that the pre-selected conclusion has been undeniably proven. I think that lots of people do that, and I think I have done that, and I think you do that too. Don't think that that anybody is immune from this. We all have the possibility of falling for this. Don't do it. Resist it. Be dispassionate about your beliefs about how something will be, and instead follow the evidence for it. It's hard to do sometimes. You may have a very strongly held position on something that you do not want to let go of. I challenge everybody, don't let that make the decision for you. Follow the evidence where it goes. Aaron Reese says anyone that calls himself a truther is probably lying to themselves or others, period. Yes, it's Badger's Law. That people that I don't know exactly what it is. We can look it up. Let's look it up here. Badger's Law says in practice that means, let's see, Badger's Law states that the content of any website which contains the word truth in its name or URL contains anything but that. This law states websites with the word truth in the URL have none in the posted content. So a little broader version of that would be people who have their YouTube channels with truth in it, or they have their handle on Instagram or Twitter or some social media with truth in it. Or just simply call themselves truthers as their own self-selected moniker, have nothing interested in the truth in it. So anyway, in practice, this means that websites with a word in their name and or the URL can be considered webshites. Citing such webshites as a credible source is in turn a violation of Scope's law. World Truth TV is a prime example of this. So there you go. I do like Rational Wiki. It's pretty fun. They have a good deal of flat Earth on there. So Dave Kircher says, are you implying that my code is in fact not faster when I throw away unfavorable profiling data? Wait, that's not what there you go. That's what I wanted to have up. I don't know. So Icy Spin says, which law is it that applies to JM Truth and other truthers? Yeah, Badger's Law. But also, Simon Dan has one. He calls the Channel of Truth Paradox. There it is, the Truther Paradox. So Simon Dan coined the phrase the YouTube Channel of Truth Paradox to describe this behavior. It's essentially Badger's Law. And so I have a list. It's incomplete. I don't update it often, but if you want to update it, if you find somebody that's not on this list here, then please do let Ken G, the OG Ken G, know about it, because he's my webmaster and he can add it. Thanks, Ken. You're awesome. Anyway, so yeah, here's a short list of an incomplete list of YouTube channel names that have truth in their title that are not interested in truth. So there you go. Truth hurts with funny letters, funny diacritical marks. There you go. And then others on elsewhere. So Twitter, we've got these. Discord, TikTok. It's not complete, but anyway, if you have nominations, don't tweet to me. Send it to Ken OG, Kenji, the OG Kenji, on Discord. I should put that in there. So, Icy Spin says, hard to argue with evidence. Name change to MC Truth, MC Tune Live Lies seems appropriate if we take this at face value. Well, I don't think the opposite is the case necessarily. Okay. Lord Illuminus Poo says Tune is definitely a fake Christian. He's a Hindu in disguise. FFS, what a dumb question. I know, sorry. I'm not a Hindu. Albino Bad Guy says, I've played Uno with Mallory. What a blast. Mallory is she's funny. She's fun. You know what? I should ask her if she wants to come on and next week. Maybe we can get her on next week. I'll message her right away after this. Everybody, if you know Mallory, go message her and say, you got to get on MC Tunes next week. Go ahead, do that, and then she'll be ready. Anyway, everybody, thank you very much. I'm gonna head on. I'm gonna let you go. This was another episode of Nutcase Chronicles. I think number 4. I should make a playlist. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you for if you're interested, if you like this, if this was cool for you, if you want to support, of course there's monetary ways, but really, if you want to just post this somewhere so that other people will watch, I will love you long time. That's how you can, if you're like, I don't. Yep. That's the one thing I'll ask, is that you'll share it somewhere. If you really want to actively support, that's what I want. Anyway, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Here we go.
MC Tune, drop that beat.
All right. Let it flow. Let yourself go. So I know that is the tempo.
So, yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this. Yo, it's MC Toon, the debunking tycoon. I shatter flat earthers, make them face the moon. Your attempts are decent, but they'll swoon in the face of my logic like a deflated balloon.
Oh, MC Toon, the one soon cartoons. On your real stage, send it first to their dues. Your theories are like old brews, sweeping ignorance, or just spreading the views.
FDFE stands for fumbling the facts, evidently. I drop truth bombs so splendidly. Your approach is soft, mine's unrelenting. I bring the science while you're just venting.
MC Toon, the flipping with silver spoons. I have the pseudoscience, make them change their tune. You're the sidekick, I'm the room. When it comes to debunking, I'm the room.
But hey, FTFE, we share the creed to educate and debunk the plant the seed. Though in this rap, it's clear indeed I've got the upper hand than word and deed. Alright, hold on a second. The Zoom call died. Everything died! No!